You finally meet someone who truly understands you. Someone who sees beneath the surface. They're kind, they're present, and they're asking to know the real you. But instead of feeling happy, your stomach knots up. Suddenly, the connection you wanted so badly feels heavy. You feel suffocated. You start finding flaws in them. You convince yourself you just need some space, and slowly, quietly, you pull away. And later, you sit there wondering, why do I do this? Why do you want closeness, but feel so uncomfortable when it actually shows up? Maybe it's not that you don't want love. Maybe you're afraid of what comes with it. Fear of intimacy doesn't always look like fear. It looks like hesitation, distance, confusion. It hides in small behaviors, the ones most people don't question. But once you see them, everything starts to make sense. Here are 7 signs, not to label yourself, but to understand yourself. The first sign hides in plain sight. Psychologists call it the flaw-finding mechanism. At the start, you're drawn in, the mystery, the chase, the possibility. But when they become consistent, when they show real interest, something inside you cools down. You suddenly become hyper-fixated on tiny, irrelevant flaws in the other person. You convince yourself these are deal breakers, but they aren't. In psychology, these are known as deactivating strategies. Your brilliant mind is subconsciously manufacturing a logical excuse to create distance. Because if you can convince yourself that they aren't perfect, you don't have to risk the terrifying vulnerability of letting them in. The second sign is hyper-independence. This is the deep-seated belief that you can only count on yourself. In childhood, you likely had caregivers who were unpredictable or emotionally unavailable, perhaps due to their own trauma. You learned early that if you gave someone the opportunity to let you down, they would. Now, as an adult, asking for help feels like an unpaid debt or a threat to your safety. You probably pride yourself on being the strong one. You handle your own problems, pay your own way, and fix your own life. But clinically, this is just hyper-independence, a shield that keeps people at a distance so they can never get close enough to wound you again. You tell yourself, if I don't need anyone, no one can ever disappoint me. But by refusing to lean on someone, you are actively blocking the exact vulnerability required to build true intimacy. The third sign is what therapists call the phantom X, or the unattainable crush. Do you find yourself easily falling for people who live far away, people who are already taken, or romanticizing an ex from years ago? You might think you are just a hopeless romantic, but for the avoidant mind, pining after someone who is unavailable is incredibly safe. Why? Because a healthy, available partner feels dangerous to your nervous system. By choosing someone who won't ever truly see you, you subconsciously ensure that you never have to face the terrifying reality of real intimacy. You get to experience the warm feelings of love without the risk. The moment an unattainable person suddenly becomes available, you miraculously lose interest. Because the fantasy was safe, the reality is terrifying. The fourth sign is intellectualizing your emotions. You are a deep thinker, so when your partner asks you how you feel, you don't actually feel the emotion. You analyze it. You talk about the relationship like you are a scientist observing an experiment. You explain your psychological triggers. You dissect the argument, but you never actually let the raw emotion touch you. You use your massive intellect to build a fortress around your heart. You give them your thoughts, so you don't have to give them your feelings. This leads to the fifth sign, equating closeness with a loss of freedom. For the quiet observer, your inner world is your sanctuary. It is where you are sovereign, where you are safe. When someone tries to love you, your brain misinterprets their love as a threat to your autonomy. When they ask for your time, it feels like an obligation. When they check in on you, it feels like surveillance. You pull away because, to your nervous system, love literally feels like a trap. It feels like you are being asked to sacrifice your identity just to keep them happy. The sixth sign is extreme conflict avoidance. In dysfunctional homes, conflict isn't a conversation, it's a war or a punishing silence. If you were the peacemaker growing up, you learned to read rooms before you could read yourself. You equate disagreement with total abandonment, so you suppress your true feelings to maintain a fragile harmony. You might shut down, dissociate, or run away as soon as tension rises. You equate predictability with peace. So when things get messy, as all real relationships do, your system screams for you to get out of there to avoid the fear and grief of abandonment. And finally, the seventh sign, the exhaustion retreat. You feel overwhelmed by emotional closeness. After spending a weekend with a partner or experiencing a moment of deep, genuine connection, you feel completely drained. You don't feel energized by the love. You feel like you need a week in a dark room to recover. So, you withdraw, to breathe, to regain control. This happens because for you, letting someone in requires an immense amount of cognitive effort. You are bracing for impact the entire time. If you see yourself in these signs, I want to give you the most important takeaway. You aren't broken. You are not destined to be alone. Your mind is simply doing what it was trained to do: protect you. Somewhere in your past, you learned that being vulnerable meant getting hurt, or that being loved meant giving up your freedom. So, your mind adapted. It built a quiet rule: stay close, but not too close. And that rule stayed with you, even when you don't need it anymore. Because here's the twist. You're not afraid of people. You're afraid of what happens when people get too close. Pause again. Think about this. What do you believe would happen if someone truly saw you? Not the surface, not the version you manage, but the real you. Would they stay, or would they leave? That question sits quietly behind your distance, and the more you avoid intimacy, the more that fear feels true. But here's something important. The hyper-independence that kept you alive in the past is the exact thing keeping you lonely in the present. It protects you from rejection, but also from connection. From being hurt, but also from being known. You do not have to lose yourself to love someone. You can keep your sovereignty, your quiet mind, and your boundaries, while still letting someone sit in the room with you. So what do? You don't force yourself to change overnight. You don't suddenly become open with everyone. You start small. You notice the moment you want to pull away. Not after. In the moment. You pause. And instead of stepping back, you stay. Just a little longer. You say one honest thing. You share one real feeling. You let someone see a little more of you. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable, because it's new. But discomfort doesn't mean danger. It just means you're doing something different. Over time, those small moments add up, and something shifts. You realize closeness doesn't always lead to pain. Vulnerability doesn't always lead to rejection. And slowly, your fear begins to loosen. Final pause. Think about your life right now. The people you keep at a distance. The connections that never fully grow. Is it really because they're not right for you? Or because getting close feels unfamiliar? You don't have to rush. You don't have to force anything. But if you keep pulling away, you might never experience the kind of connection you're quietly hoping for. You deserve closeness, not the kind that overwhelms you, but the kind that understands you. And that kind of connection starts the moment you stop running from it, even just a little. Thank you for exploring your mind with us today. If this helped you understand yourself a little better, consider subscribing and leaving a like. It quietly helps us continue to create these videos for you. Until next time, keep observing.